How did my past fuel anxiety? Well, one was growing up in a place where I felt like I couldn't talk about it or really open up to anyone. The church that I grew up in never really spoke about anxiety or any of that. So I didn't really feel like there was anybody I could bring it up to. I felt like I needed to hold everything in and just bottle it up. So that's what I did throughout my entire childhood and just kind of like went from day to day. And then when I turned 15, my dad died in a car accident. And it was like everything that I knew just kind of fell apart there. And I still didn't feel like I had anybody that I could be honest with and really open up to. So I just kept bottling up this anxiety, bottling up this anger, bottling up all these questions I had because I just didn't feel like it was okay to talk about these things because I had never really heard or seen anyone do that. So that's kind of how I entered into my early 20s, was just kind of thinking that if you had this thing, if you had anxiety, that you just had to kind of deal with it on your own and just hope that it got better or hope that you got used to it. It didn't really matter what I was doing or where I would just feel overcome with this sense of panic. And I wouldn't really know what to do with that. And then I would start getting angry at me because my thought would be like, hey, this is a really good day. Why do you feel this way? This is your fault. There's something wrong with you. And then I would go down that road in my mind where I would start blaming myself for all of these problems. And that doesn't do anything to make it better. So what the struggle looked like for me was maybe I seemed very happy on the outside because that's what I genuinely wanted to be. But on the inside, I really just wanted to go home and be alone. I didn't really want to be anywhere. I didn't really want to hang out with anybody. So when trying to, recognize anxiety in others, we can't just go by the way things seem. If you really care about someone, have those honest conversations. To share one story on that, me and my wife were at a place called Optimist Hall a couple months ago just to check it out. And it's like this big cafeteria type place that has all these restaurants, coffee shops, and all this stuff set up in it. And it's a really cool place. And we were just walking through there and I started to get really anxious and like really panicky. So we were like, what's happening? Why do I feel this way? And upon thinking more, it hit me that this place reminded me of a hospital cafeteria. And whenever my dad had his accident, we spent 3 weeks in the hospital. I ate there every day. We were in the hospital for about 16 hours every day. And this place made me think of a hospital cafeteria, which instantly made me think that I was waiting for someone to come tell me something bad. And once I figured out that that was why this place made me anxious, I could tell my brain like, hey, that's not what's happening here. This is a good place. And now I can go back to that place and I don't feel that anxiety because I knew why it was happening and I thought about it and I changed the way my brain thought. So one thing that I wish I could have told people when I was really struggling with anxiety is I've always been in leadership positions at church or playing in bands or just teaching or anything like that. Is I can't be the answer to everybody else's problems when I'm going through all of this. So even going back, one thing that I wish I could have told me during that time was it's okay to step back from everybody else and take care of yourself. If I could go back to being a teenager and I could just approach some of the people that I know now and say, I hate myself. I absolutely hate myself. Then I could begin that process of healing 10 years before I actually started it. You don't have to carry these things with you your whole life. No matter what you believe, I know we were created for a purpose. And that purpose was not to go through life being anxious or hating who you are or thinking that the world would be better off without you. Those are complete lies. You do not have to go through your life thinking those things or believing those things. And the first step is just speaking, just letting it out. But even above and beyond that, find people that you can trust and speak it to those people, because we don't want to be vulnerable with just anybody, because some people are going to feed that pity. Some people are going to feed that anxiety. You want to speak it to people that are going to point you to who you're supposed to be. They're going to point you to something better and not just tell you that it's okay the way you are. Because it is okay to not be okay, but we're not supposed to stay that way.